Yeah, yeah, I feel like if you're gonna put him in this golem, at least we know he's not gonna like live forever, and he doesn't have like super strength or whatever. So, yeah, it's a very Star Trek ending to this storyline, and I'm okay with it. Not my preferred, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too. All right, so that's not the very end, of course. You've watched it. Next, we have Picard and Daj and Agnes and Soong in, one of the labs or whatever, and they're standing in front of this box, and it's got these big cards in it that he starts pulling out. This is what's controlling Data's neurons and life force and all that. So as he's starts pulling these out, of course he's giving a beautiful Picard speech, and we see Data in the study. He's sitting in a chair. He's got a glass of wine. He's wearing a smoking jacket. Blue Skies is playing on the record player, of course. Mm-hmm. As he removes cards. Oh yes,
that's actually Issa Brione singing Blue Skies.
What?
Yeah, she is a theater person. She's and all that.
And I knew she did musicals, but I didn't know that was her.
That is her singing Blue Skies. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
She, before taking this job playing Soji and all these other characters, she was in the touring company of Hamilton as Eliza. So she can sing, as evidenced in this episode.
Data played that version because it was the unplugged one.
Oh boy.
I couldn't help myself.
The dad jokes are coming out now, everybody.
Or did you just come up with one? I said, did you have that one in your notes, or did you just come up with that one?
Oh, our connection must have gotten fuzzy. I didn't hear you. No, it's in my notes. I was proud of that one.
Okay. I mean, you should be proud either way, but I was going to be more proud if you just come up with it. Anyway, so yeah, every time he takes out a card, we see Data again. So then we see Data lay down on the couch, and then Picard is sitting on the table in his Starfleet uniform next to him. To like, it's so sweet that it's like, as Data's dying, he sees Picard as comforting him because he knows that Picard is doing this for him. And as he's pulling out the last one, Data grows old and then turns gray and dies too. And it's really sad. And then it's such a beautiful shot because they're two, it turns the two of them, it swirls around the picture, and then they become nebulas, and it's such a beautiful like transition. And Cindy was sitting there still, of course, and she's like trying to do stuff on her phone because she was like, I'm gonna watch this sometime. I don't want any spoilers. I'm like, you've sat there and watched it with me several times. You already know weird stuff that's gonna happen. And then she's like, I shouldn't be crying at this, but I am.
Aww.
Because it's real, like, the only thing that could have been more emotional is if it were Data and Geordi.
Oh my god! If they had put Geordi in this scene, I would have slashed my wrists. I would not have been able. I'm sorry. That's. I mean,
that was extreme, but it was like that. That's the only other person that it could have been more emotional about, I think.
Oh my gosh! If it was Geordi, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Like this was emotional enough, like to see Data like really say goodbye, and it's such a. I mean, yes, we saw Data die in Nemesis, but not really, because we know that he downloaded his consciousness into B4, and certainly
and just Nemesis in general.
Yeah, I know.
Steve's not here to defend it.
That's true. And certainly he does talk a little bit about how that's how Bruce got one of his neurons, was from B4, which they finally kind of, in a throwaway line, answer where Bruce got the neuron from. But it's just such. This is like a real goodbye, because they Picard is pulling out all these memory cards basically that are keeping Data's consciousness alive or active in this simulation.
Pulling the plug on him.
I mean, he really is, and it's. I do like that Picard kept his promise to him. I like that he didn't say, "Hey, let's build him a new body and download this into him."
Yeah.
Like, I like that he kept his promise. He said, "You know, I made a promise and I'm going to keep it."
Mm-hmm.
See, at one point, I wondered if they were going to download Data's consciousness into that golem.
Yeah, I wondered too, but I mean, if they could have done that, then like they would have done that already.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
I think Michael Chabon talked about that in one of his Instagram stories too, about how basically the idea behind that was that it was so many like bits of information they couldn't have put it all into one go. I don't remember. He did say something about how like they just weren't able to do it because it wasn't really all of his consciousness. It was most of it, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I love the way that they did that, though, that after he died, the way that it transitioned out and it showed space and the nebulas and everything. It was a really, really beautiful shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he does. I mean, and Picard is reciting that speech from Shakespeare where he's saying, you know, we are such stuff as dreams are made of, you know, and it's all very sort of like back, you know, we all come from the same building blocks. We all come from the same, we all have the basic same minerals and
like dust into dust thing.
Exactly. It was a very dust to dust, ashes to ashes moment. And I really liked it. It was very full circle for Data.
It was very Picard to throw some Shakespeare in too.
Oh, of course, 100%. Which, but by the way, if anybody doesn't know, although if you listen to this show, you probably do, Patrick Stewart is reading a sonnet a day on his Facebook. You can see it on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. While we're all stuck indoors,
and I
because of coronavirus.
I did share an article about it on our page.
Oh yes, I did see that.
Yep.
So yeah, hopefully you've been watching. You can, and of course they're all there on the internet because the internet's forever. So you can go and watch, listen to Patrick Stewart read you a sonnet a day if you like, while you're stuck at home, flattening the curve.
Right.
or being an essential person that is working at a job that has been deemed essential.
I am currently an essential person, but I am on quarantine because I was sick last week. And I had a temperature that was too high to go to work and not possibly be corona. So, yeah. And I had a dry cough, but now I have like that. It's my sinus junk cough. So,
I gotcha.
Yeah. And I also don't feel physically bad like I did. Like I didn't want to move. Like everything hurt. It was bad.
Well,
so I might have had a mild case of it, but I didn't get tested because it's like I could breathe about like I normally can. It's hard to breathe around here anyway because of my allergies. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're starting to feel a little better.
Oh, I feel back to normal now.
Oh, great.
So I can go back to work Monday, and then they're gonna have the schedule for who all's working from home on what days and all that. So anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the show. So the last scene, we have the Scooby Gang back on, I'm just going to call them that now, back on Alpha Serena. And, Girardi walks up to Rios and she leans over and they kiss each other. Then we zoom down to Sonic drive-in, and Seven and Rafi are sitting there, and then they intertwine fingers and look at each other lovingly, and so I squealed.
That was such a great moment.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to wake Cindy up because I got up early yesterday morning and watched it, and I was like, I thought that she and the dog were going to wake up, but
I know so many budding relationships at the end of this. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
With Rios and Agnes and Rafi and 7 and 9, Elnor in his hand. And then, afterwards, he's like, absolute candor. He's going to be telling Picard all about it.
Oh, 100%. He's going to have a whiteboard. No pun there, but boy, that was funny. Explaining all that. one quick thing. Trying to keep this G. We've crossed into PG-13, I know, but one quick thing with 7 of 9 and Raffi. They're sitting at the table. There is a game on the table between them.
Yeah, I saw that. What is it?
That is Calto, a Vulcan logic game, which if you watched Voyager, you know that Tuvok played that game all the time and taught a lot of the Voyager crew members to play it. And I thought it was really cool that 7 of 9 is still playing Calto after
the African American guy that plays a
yes.
Vulcan or something.
Tim Russ is the actor's name.
Right.
He plays Tuvok, Chief of Security. He played Calto all the time, and he taught a lot of crew members how to play it.
I've seen pictures of him, so I thought that he was from that series.
Yes, so she still plays Calto, which I thought was very nice.
That's a great Easter egg.
Yeah, real subtle. I actually missed it on my first watch, but yeah, it's that's a little Easter egg there.
And then Soji is still with them, we find out. And Picard's asking her why she wants to come with them after she's found her home and her family. And she says maybe she's just a wanderer after all. And that's kind of the end. And it's like, I didn't realize it was going to end on some sort of happy ending. Like, this is weird.
I agree. I wasn't expecting a happy ending.
Yeah. Well, and just, I mean, I know we kind of covered this earlier, but just an ending that wrapped up so many threads. I mean, did it drop any sort of hint at all about what the second season could potentially entail?
No idea.
Yeah.
No clue. I mean,
what if somebody reanimates Sutra and then she tries to take things over? Or what about Commodore O? And of course, we didn't know what happened with Narek, so that's like the only. Otherwise, it's like they would be off somewhere else and they'd have to come back together in something. You know, it would have to be a whole nother season story arc for them to get back together again if it was one of those people. So who knows what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm. Also, too, are we just going to not turn Agnes over to the police for killing Bruce Maddox?
They've already determined she was under mind control, right?
I guess we're always going to be like, all right.
I know Rios is all like getting all lovey-dovey with her. It's like, bro, she kind of killed her ex-boyfriend, like in the med bay of your ship.
Next.
Better him than me.
It's like, come on, I'm not creepy like that guy. Which I can't believe I didn't think about this when we first met Data's brother, but of course Maddox ran off with him. He looked just like Data.
Exactly. Oh, man. What an ending. What an ending to the show.
Yep. But I enjoyed it. It wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. And of course, they did stuff that I didn't necessarily want, but I was okay with it in the end. But, you know, we'll have Rebecca and I will give some time to process the whole thing, maybe us rewatch it all again, and then have a whole kind of talk about the whole series as one thing later on, because we like talking to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I'd like to sit down and like rewatch this series all in a binge and kind of revisit, because I feel like the first 3 episodes feel so long ago to me. So much has happened since then. So I feel like I would like to.
So much has happened on the show and in real life since then.
Yes, absolutely. So much has happened in real life. And I do want to go back and I want to rewatch the whole thing as one story and then kind of come back and talk about it as a whole. So yeah, we'll do that in the next couple of weeks.
All right. Sounds good. Joe, you have anything you want to add or anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I mean, this was just a really, really great series. For the diehard Trek fans that really want to see something that's strict and follows the rules of Trek, this probably isn't it. But for people that are just kind of dipping their toes in and want to see an action-packed season that's got a good emotional punch to it as well, this is something you should absolutely check out. It'd be well worth your time. to watch this and see what they're doing with this character. And yeah, as far as plugging myself, you